Hiya, and welcome back to InsideTracks.co.uk. I've called this video Return of the Know Your Charts, Keep Making Money. This is the second part of Knowing Your Charts. The first part is on another video. If you want to watch that, it's gone down quite well, and it gives you some of the background. So I'm not going to go over a lot of the background again, but I will just make a few points at the start, and then I'll get into the different charts. I've got four that I can go through with you and let you know if you recognize them. Hopefully, it will help you to make money. So InsideTracks.co.uk, we have a website, and we also do a newsletter and an academy. So we'll come to that at the end as well. So wait out for that one. So let's just start with some of the basics again, so that if you're new to it, and this is the first video you've seen about charting, then let me give you three things to really remember when you're looking at a chart. So the very first thing to be really clear about is here on the left-hand side. It is the horse over or underweighted in the market. Now you probably don't, if you haven't not familiar with it, I'll just explain it very briefly. What you do is you take the amount of money on the selection here, so 361,000 or so, and you take the actual last price match 1.94, approximately 2, and you multiply one by the other. So that's 2 times 361, approximately 720. 720, significantly higher than that total on the market of 560. So this is a very heavily overweighted horse. What that means in very short terms is that the changes in direction of this price is liable to be low, which you can see here it's not going whoom, 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 whoom. Even though a lot of money is coming on at £6,000, the price is not really moving. I liken it to an oil tanker. If you're very heavily overweighted, it's like an oil tanker, so you don't change course very readily, whereas a very underweighted horse is like a sailing ship. It gets blown offline by very small winds. So that's how I like to think about it. And it's very important when you're thinking about looking at charts, because if it's very heavily overweighted horse, you can be fairly sure that these won't move rapidly, and therefore be fairly sure in your scalping or in your swing betting or anything else that you're doing with a chart, because the direction ain't going to change very quickly. So early money and late money are completely different, okay? Completely different. So this is towards the end. You can tell because that's 560,000. That's more than a normal race. Normal race about 350. This is probably a Saturday race, so 560. What you will see is this is close to the off. There is the last 10 minutes. That bit there, half the chart is the last 10 minutes. Okay, that's what it says here. Half the chart is the last 5 to 10 minutes. So half the chart and 80% of that money is here. And you can see it. You can see it, can't you? You can really see that the money really starts here. So back here, this is probably about half an hour before the race. And this is the day before, right? So when you're looking at a race at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're looking at this part of the chart. If you're looking at this part of the chart, you see a horse doing this. Okay, so just don't worry too much. I'll get yourself into too much of a tizzy about the chart at the beginning of the morning when there's only been, what, £1,000 on it or £2,000 on it. What you do is you look at the chart from about half an hour out and you start seeing the proper nature of that chart. Okay, so those are the basics about charting. So the chart is not the same. This can be this bit here could be the whole chart right across the way, and it could be almost a full morning. And then here, this can be the last half an hour. So it concertinas. Just remember that. And the last 10 minutes is the most important, because that's when the professional money comes, and the first bit is quite important still, because that's when the connections and stable get on board. Okay, so that's the basics. Other basics are, if you're looking at Betfair chart, that's where you find the chart. That's the chart button. That's fair enough. I'm just putting that in because there are some people who are completely new to Betfair. So let's get into the different types of chart. We did some charting last time. So if you want to have more charts, then go back to the original chart video called Make Money Knowing Your Charts. And this one is what I call the mountain peak chart. So we can see on this chart that there's been some very early interest. That means that the stable is on it, and they quite like it. They're not quite sure about it, but they quite like it. So this horse is not obvious from its form, from its past running. So this is a horse you'll see, which when you look at the morning papers, you'll say, well, it's a bit of an outsider, really. It's not done very much. There's a couple of zeros in there, a couple of sixes in there, but the stable knows something. And then maybe some of the connections with a bit more money come in, and they know something. But then it comes to here, and the punters come in and go, whoa, that's too low for a 0.6842. That's far too low at sort of 8 point something, 8.5. There'll be a few people who are not really very happy with that and want to push it out because they think 12's about right up here. Stick it out, and then, whoom, someone, probably Hugh Taylor, who's my chief person I look at for tipping. You'll see a video, by the way, on Hugh Taylor. It's a very interesting one. So look that out after this video. Someone will come in here and say, whoa, 12, I know a bit more. I'm a tipster. I've got some inside knowledge. Have I got a tip for you? And they will tip it at around about 12, 11, 11.5. Load of money comes in, shoves it right down, and then you get what we call a steamer, and a whole load of money comes in who are going to follow that steamer, and then more money comes in, and then we're getting close to the race. As you can see, 250, 300. So we're getting quite close to the race, but maybe about 10, 12 minutes before the race here. And you can see that it's still steaming. So some of the professional money is coming in and saying, yep, we've heard as well. So this is, have I got a tip for you? This is a racehorse that doesn't look like it's got much particular chance of winning. But actually you see that there's some fairly good money coming in at decent prices, and then the steam comes in and it stays there with the professionals. So early money connections divided, tipster, influencer, late pro money bring price in. Horse could turn out to be over or underweighted, and this horse definitely ran well. I don't know whether it won, but it will have run very well and been in the top 3. So that's the mountain peak chart. Look out for that one. If you see it and you see those characteristics, then you know what to do. It's definitely gonna run a decent race. Swing trade charts. This is one that I quite like. The early money connections positive and horses overweighted. So this is positive money coming in here from the connections. They all like it. The owners, the trainer, the stable jockey, the stable lads like it, and they brought it right in with some decent enough money. That's what, 3,000 quid coming in very early. So that's money that likes this horse. Brings it into 1.8, probably a bit too much. So then it starts swinging between 1.8 and 2 before the off, and then after the off, it didn't take off particularly well, but that was fairly short-lived. And if I'd seen this chart and I knew that the support levels were 1.8 and 2, and I saw it go out to 2.4 in the early stages of running, I would take the 2.4 because I would know it would come certainly back down into 1.8. And in fact, it does not go below 1.8 after it comes down and back in. And of course it wins because, the first price, the tissue price, was up over nearly 3, and the off price was 1.98. So this is a nice chart to see. Early support, a good corridor in which the prices are remaining, and then and there's even a chance in play to take a bit of this 2.4, 2.3, and still make a nice little bit of money in the space of what's that? Less than a minute, 30 seconds. You could probably make some very decent money from that move, and that move was very predictable from the chart. I would say here it was probably being well challenged, so I don't think it won by a lot. So what I'm saying to you is that's why I would probably trade out around here. I'd trade in around here and I'd trade out around here. So, but I'd make a bit of money on this chart. So it's a great chart for swing trades, and it's a great chart for actually giving you a nice range in which to go maybe in play if you are an in play player. Okay, swing chart, scalping chart, beautiful, beautiful. This is a solid one. So we can see the horse is overweighted. That's nice. We like that. We like having overweighted horses. That means it's not going to jump around too much. Support levels are very clear quite early on. Down here, 4.5 is fairly clear. Support level very early on. 5.5, maybe slightly less. 5.3 is another support level you can see there, and it's swung between those all the way through. This is a lovely chart. Price which is 5.2, it's back. Price which is 4.5, it's laid. It's a great chart for scalping or even swing trading. Scalping, why scalping and more than swing trading is because you see these little jumps in between. Yeah, these are your nice little scalps coming out here. Yeah, so as you see it go down to 4.5, you see it coming back out. You can still scalp, knowing it's going to probably come out here. Then you can lay scalping, and then you can back scalping, then you can lay scalping, and you can get some very nice money in, certainly from there where the money starts coming in onwards. So like this chart, particularly like it for the overweighted nature. Nearly 5 times 70 is 350 versus 260. It's nicely overweighted, very nicely overweighted, and that's what we like to see, so that we don't get, putting some decent money here, laying at 4.5 and finding it go down there really quickly and get buggered. Okay, so that's this horse is a solid one. This horse is going to run well. It's not favorite, but it's very nicely supported in the market, and there's good feeling about it, and the betting public and even the professional have support levels clearly signaled. Okay, drifter and steamer chart. This is where you really need to have some software if you are going to use software, because you need to be seeing these charts together. And I like to have 5 up, so I can see the top 5 in the race, or I can pick out one that's moving and put that into the top 5 if it's not in the actual top 5 that's the betting. But I'm just showing you this is a race that actually went yesterday, so I saw it and I thought, yeah, this is perfect, this is brilliant, because this shows you exactly what you're looking for in a race. So yeah, I've called it if you can't take a hint, and this is before the off. Okay, so this fella here, Foro Romano. This, by the way, is a 2-year-old race, so they're inexperienced. I think they're both first time out, or maybe Foro Romano had a race and Flicker Girl hadn't. So actually, in a 2-year-old race where there's very little form, I always tell people the betting is your best bet, okay? Because the betting is amalgamation of what the connections think. So has it run well on the gallops for the connections, for the trainer, from the stable lads? So here with this fella, you see that the trainer and the connections are really quite bullish about the potential performance of their lad, and they push the price right down to 2.16. So really quite confident. There's no real feeling of negativity here. Apart from when it gets 2.16, and then there's quite a lot of negativity, shoves it back over 2.5, and you think, well, okay, fair enough, that's gone a bit too far. There's not a lot of money on it, so I can understand that. So therefore, I'm looking at 2.5. Is it going to stay there? And in fact, it doesn't. It doesn't, does it? Because it gets pushed out. So there's someone else not liking it there, and then When it gets to 3, people in the know, seen it on the gaps, going, yeah, no, we do still quite like this one, so we're going to push it back down. And then the guys who are in the know going, no, there's a better one in this race than your one. And here they are. So here are the guys who are saying, well, there's a better one in this race. Because this is on the same timeline, by the way. It's taken at the same time, so pretty much 227 and 243. So it's pretty much taken at the same timeline. So you can say when this is suddenly starts coming back up, you see that this one starts suddenly coming down. And this one continues to steam. And when it gets to a position of round about 3.35, it continues. Yeah, there's a bit of profit taking here. But then actually, this is very nice. You sometimes do see that chart goes down, then comes back up with profit taking. Guys who were in here start taking some profit, and this is pushed out to maybe 5, something like that. So it gets pushed back out. That's that's one from the previous charting video, was the ski jump. Yeah, some thoughts about is it right, is it not right? Then someone says, yep, it's right. Then it steams, comes right down. And then the ski jump is guys came in here saying, we'll take a bit of profit because we're not absolutely certain about this. And they take a bit of profit and it comes back out to here. That, whoa, that's and big money, some big money coming in here. That's saying we definitely like this one a lot. And if you can't take the hint, then don't bother. So and this one there, that's them saying, no, not really. We know better than these guys, because these are the connections of this horse. These guys know what's going on in the total market, and they're in here as well. So that is really obvious that there's quite a lot of money coming in at the end here saying, yeah, we're going to actually not like this one at all, and it's going to be pushed. So connections positive, overweighted, connections mixed, everyone else is positive, and then the drift for Foro Romano accelerates at the end. And so we'll see, did we take the hint? And here we go. Here's the race. So this now because the race finished and I took this chart, this is now the chance chart. So basically this is the drift, and its chances going down. You see, that's when it went off. That was that drift further out. That's when he went off, and immediately he's drifting out to sort of 8 or 9, or even close to 10. Then he, going around the bend, does a little bit, gets back up to his off price, not for very long, and he's clear off the bend that he's got no chance. And the reason is that this one's far, far too good. And after the off, price drops again. So this is where I talk about low price favorites. View that one as well. That's a make money from low price favorites. This is exactly what you want from that, which is this trend, which has continued down here, which I said was very important, immediately continues after the off. And that bit there is where you make money from low price favorites. Okay, so look at that video, it tells you a bit more. And there was never in doubt. This horse go around the bend. For a second there, you look at it and you say, well, is this one going to come back? And yeah, when you're watching it, no chance at all. And this one walks away with it. So result never in doubt. So again, there's so much you can see from charts, not just the single chart, which is very useful and very effective when you know what you're looking at, but becomes even more effective on certain charts where you can see several horses and how it's working out and where the changes in direction are coming from and why. And then you suddenly go, oh yeah, I could take the hint. Flicker's Girl is really a good thing, and it's this bit here that tells me she's a really good thing. Okay, so it's on that, and the result was never ever in doubt. So that's what I'm going to do today. I don't like to put too much up. I might do another one on a few more. So that'll be part 3, looking at charts that can tell you when a horse is less likely to win. If you like what you see, then subscribe to the channel. We do a trading academy with more than 100 videos. It can tell you all the stuff about everything for beginners is there. And actually quite a lot of the videos are a bit more for the better experienced people, but there's a lot there for the beginners. So if you don't have Betfair at all, pop in, and there's a whole section which says for beginners. If you are experienced or you want to as a beginner get some nice tips, then you can try the Members Club newsletter. Go to this address here, www.insidetracks.co.uk Members Club newsletter, or just go to the website and you'll see the tab for newsletter. All the results are there. I keep all the results meticulously so you can see how that works and whether you want to join and maybe make a bit of money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one, hopefully. Good luck to you all. And take it easy.